This week on the show, it's part 2 of our Daybreak review. We're going to jump into the story with a spoilerific review of every step of the story and what we thought of it. We also have what we call news and some special holiday wishes. It's a spoiler-packed show on Shadow of the Dragon. Shadow of the Dragon. This is episode number 55. Woo!
55.
55.
55.
55.
You got to say it correctly. 55.
55. So what's up, everybody?
It's the end of the week.
It is the end of the week.
Taxes.
Yeah,
It's
taxes.
the end of the week, yeah.
Yeah, PUBG put out their new map and everything else, so I spent my afternoon playing that.
Yeah, I saw. I'll join you soon. I practiced with a little Bad Company 2 today, just to kind of
Bad
practice
Company 2? Is that from like 1994-ish?
No, it's not that old.
Oh, is it from this millennium?
I downloaded it 2 years ago on my Steam account.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gave me a free dealy wop for it. So anyway, I downloaded it. And so today I was like, I want to see how things run on this PC through Steam.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
You got to get like Crytek, Crysis, I think it is, something in the Cry engine or something Unreal based. That'll push it. Like, I mean, there's on Steam, there's a benchmarking tool. I forgot what it's called. That'll push it and give you a score that you can look at. I think it's Heaven or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but if you're that interested. But this isn't a hardware podcast. This is a Guild Wars 2 podcast. Woo! I forgot to say last show too. It was just last week. The show turned 2 years old.
I know. It was our birthday.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
25th of November. So, yeah, just about 2 weeks ago.
We could have had a cake.
We should have had a cake.
We should have had a cake.
I love cake.
All
Cake's
right.
awesome.
So we're a little loose tonight, but yeah, that's a good thing. Last show of the year. We're going to finish up the review of Daybreak, which I didn't realize until I listened to Host of Ascalon that Daybreak is the exact opposite of Nightfall.
Nightfall, yeah.
Which I was so Alona, if you're listening, you knew it before I did. So GG, I didn't even put it together. And then we're gonna take a 3-week break. We'll be back on the 5th of January with a Winter's Day review and stuff like that. So it was a short week. So anybody have anything they want to talk about? What they've been doing in game?
I tried out the new raid.
Oh,
How is it?
It's pretty fun. It's pretty, if you are the type of player that tries to like coast along or gets really stuck into your rotation, you'll basically be forced to pay attention to what's going on around you. So it's fun. We did a couple pulls on it, and then my raiders were like, okay, let's go back to what we know. Everyone has got conversations going on. So that's what we did. That's what I did. What did you do?
We're all talking like off camera.
Oh, I know. I'm like, I'm just gonna talk to myself and to chat.
I'm so sorry.
Miko, that wasn't against you.
It was just hilarious because the three of you were all looking off camera, and I'm like, oh, Okay.
I looked back. I
Take
thought
your
it was
foot back.
just me talking to my friend who is it's her house. And so I look back as she's still talking to me and I'm like, why are the guys not paying attention?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ah.
My wife walked in
Oh.
just now
Oh.
too to tell me
That's
she got
hilarious.
food and brought me a piece of brisket. It was very
See, I
delicious.
told you she would come back. That's it.
My
Garage
friend,
took a screenshot for you, Miko, so you got the
Yeah,
evidence.
it's cool.
So I'm sorry about
You
that.
guys can all watch the screenshot now, or see the screenshot. You can post that on the screenshots channel.
That'll be
Oh
the
my
send it to
God.
me, Garage. I will
That'll
make
That'll
that
be
the
the new
YouTube.
screenshot.
That'll be the YouTube thumbnail. That's the thumbnail I'll use for YouTube. All right, so let's close that out again, Miko. I know you did it.
I
Let's get
was just saying that we went in and we took on the first boss. We got to the first phase. We phased it at 66%. I don't know where Kora went now. There she is.
that was my thumb as I was trying to get dog hair out of my mouth.
Oh,
wow,
think I
this is
succeeded.
going to be a great show.
I've got a Labrador.
Oh.
The dog hair gets everything.
All right, so Miko did raids,
Yep. Raids.
and we
And-
have plenty for the blooper reel already.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else do anything? Gallus is out.
Off to a grand start.
Why are we even doing this show?
My dog keeps kicking the door open.
It's dogs, see? 2 dogs.
Eh.
2 dogs and a wife.
So,
Just
so
let
A
the dog
friend
come-
who has a friend coming over. So,
I started doing the Griffin quest,
ooh.
and you know that jumping puzzle
Mhm.
where you have to use the jackal
Yes.
and jump through these things, and you got to time everything just right. Oh yeah, the Griffin is going to be a long time coming for the old Gallios, man.
It's
No,
not that
no,
bad.
You know what you gotta do?
I did it, and it's
Somebody
like
report you.
when it put me on the top. I got to the top, right? Got to the top. I was so excited, and then those little bastard things kept attacking me, and I was down to the last one, and he killed me.
Okay.
And when I
I'm
had to go
gonna-
start over, Gallios was upset.
I'm gonna share the secret with you. Okay, Gallios, this is how I got mine so fast. You hop on the game, and then you go, Taken, help me. And then Taken is like, okay, you got teleport to friends, and then you just follow Taken and you get it.
Of course.
Everybody
That's the
needs
way
a
to do it.
Taken.
Everybody
yeah.
needs a tankin.
Everybody needs a Taken.
Everybody needs to take it.
All right, so Gallus finally started the
Yeah, I started it a long time ago. I was trying to get, the eggs and stuff. So I was going to do the eggs.
I flew.
And I was like,
yeah,
you know what? I'm right here. I'm going to do this one.
I flew
So-
everywhere, dude.
Ugh.
I still haven't started that. I unlocked it, but that's
Really?
all I've done.
I
Yeah.
find it. I maybe it's just me, but I'm finding it very weird that you guys have not done this yet.
Yeah.
No.
Like I was done with everything in the first weekend.
Mm-mm.
Second week it was because Kora got her griffin first, so it did take me a while to get the griffin.
Because again, this is where I was like, I really
Dilly
want to get the
dilly?
Griffin, and Tankin was like, let's get it for you before Gord gets his, and I was like, I love you, Tankin. And then I got my Griffin, and I did my happy dance.
Yeah.
There's Tankin.
Oh, there's Tankin. Tankin,
Hey,
you,
buddy.
you got work to do, buddy. You got to get Gallus's griffin. We're just whoring you out on this podcast. Down the street and give
He
me my
does take
griffin.
Donations. He does take donations.
Yeah.
So remember this, okay?
I was gonna say we
All
should
right.
probably, give him a nice tip.
All right, so Kora, anything you want to add?
No, I haven't
still
been able
writing?
to be in game.
Yeah.
But I've been working on the final edits for my Guild Mag story. So the Guild Mag has their annual coming out, and I have a thing in it. And I didn't realize, like, I'm one of their featured people, but
Mhm.
like they're using me as like, hey, here's why you should buy the thing, because
The
these
annual,
people did.
yes. Community contributors. Yeah, we
Right?
did that last
And
year.
then it's Kora, and I'm like, wait, what? I guess I finally made it.
Yay, you did.
I didn't know that was coming, so that was really cool. So I'm working on the final edits for that. I'm happy with it, but sometimes I think anybody who's creative, like sometimes the creative project you work on comes really easy, and other times it fights you the whole way. And Winter's Day Zine, Chimes, the story came really easy, and the Guild Mag fought me the whole way. And I'm happy with how they both turned out, but it was like one just flowed and the other was like, that's not the story we want you to tell. So
It's
so
rough,
yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm final edits and then that will be all done. I think you can still pre-order
Yeah.
Guild Mag, and I think there might be a few copies left for Chimes, the Winter's Day zine. So if you're interested in them, get on it, because they'll be out and gone and no more ever again.
Yeah, I got last year's too.
I forgot to mention I did finish the story too, like 2
Ooh.
days after we
Oh, good man.
did the podcast to make sure I was ready.
Good man,
Good.
good man, because that is what we're talking about tonight.
So, Gord, what were you working on this week?
Well, we did the fractal. I got my 29K AP chest while we did the fractal last week, which was pretty cool. I've kind of given up on AP for now. I mean, I'm still on hiatus. I've been playing PUBG and World of Warcraft a lot more than Guild Wars 2, and it's nothing personal. Just taking a break. So,
Sometimes you need a break.
Yep. Sometimes you need a break.
yeah, we got so I got my panda to level 9. I have a paladin up to level 20. I have a mage. I think I quit on my mage, my blood elf mage, because I need Gallios to come in and meat shield for me. But I mean, it's cool. I'm having a lot of fun with that game. It's a lot different, but there's a lot of changes in the game that make it a lot more Guild Wars 2-esque in how it levels and stuff like that. So it's definitely fun. So I went through and did my second playthrough of the Living Story. I went to do it today, and I screwed up the first instance and was like, nope, I'm out. So, but it was totally my fault. I left the instance area, and I started working on some achievements on that. The only thing with that, I'm not very motivated to work on achievements in Living Story and Path of Fire, because most of them are like 1 or 3 achievement points, and it's like 15 minutes to half an hour to get them done. Like some of the metas for the achievements are like, you could be sitting there for an hour waiting for it to pop, and then another half hour, 45 minutes to get it to be done, and you get like 2 achievement points. So it's like, I'm kind of at the
metas
spot
are fun
where-
though.
Yeah, they are, but you do it once, and
I don't know. It's got good loot.
So did you guys, speaking of the Griffin thing from earlier, did you guys have to party up to get that legendary champion? There's one that you have to kill, that Facet or something like that.
Yeah.
That dude's hard, man.
Yeah, the one up in the northeast corner of Desert Highlands.
Yes.
By
Oh
the
my
pyramid.
God.
Yeah, he's tough. Yeah, I just do a bounty train.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to catch it. I think I just missed one that was successful.
You
the
got
other
a
day.
LFG open world and just bounty train in Desert Highlands, or is it Desert? No, it's Crystal Oasis, I believe.
Crystal Oasis, yeah.
So just bounty train that. So you might have to run through and do the entire bounty train before you get it, but at least you're helping people out that are helping you out to get it. Because the good thing about it is once you down them, I think it's an automatic drop. I don't think it's an RNG based drop. So
It's not, because like all the other ones have been automatic drop too. So
yeah, everybody in chat saying look for the bounty train.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't mean to derail that. It's just I was thinking of it and I was wondering how y'all fixed it.
I mean,
yeah,
how dare you talk about a Guild Wars 2 thing when we're talking about Guild Wars 2 things, Gallios?
I know,
Stay
right?
on topic.
I have been thoroughly chastised.
Yeah. I did go through too and clean up my inventory. I really wish there was a better kind of wardrobe. I missed the PvP wardrobe. I wish that for PvE, once you craft something, you could get something like the PvP wardrobe used to be, where you'd walk up to the big wardrobe and it was all right there, and you could scroll through it and pull stuff out that you wanted, or skins, or I don't know what a good system would be, but maybe like a plain base system of armor, and you could snap whatever skin onto it that you want. Because it's just, I have so much stuff, and then I got the pinnacle, my first pinnacle weapon, and even though as soon as you get it, it unlocks in wardrobe, but it still sits in your inventory, and you have to apply it to a weapon, and I don't have that weapon on me, and it's like, screw it, I keep forgetting about it. So
Yeah.
so that's that. But yeah, not a lot.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like we all had a
It was a
somewhat
short week.
Kind of a
productive
chill week.
Yeah, it was a short week.
Pretty much.
Mine was productive in Guild Wars 2. I never
That's
do
good.
PvE, so it was pretty productive for me. You know, we are not doing much World v World, so like EOTM is, oh my god, so boring.
It's Karma Train, but you know,
Yeah.
So,
we have
I
some.
couldn't even get that. I took an entire, you know, in Overgrown,
Mhm.
when you leave and they've got the keep right there, the very main keep, right? It's like garrison for EOTM. I took that whole damn thing by myself. I soloed the freaking keep.
There's
And I kept typing, somebody come over here because I might need help. And nobody came. So I was like, screw
It's like
it, I'll
no
do it my
one's
own.
going to EOTM anymore, it seems like.
Well,
I always,
if you're
every
not
time
on
I
the
go in,
pin-
it feels very empty.
Yeah, if you're not on the pin, forget it. You know, and
Yeah,
they
you gotta
don't
get
run a
lucky.
pin all the time. So, I mean, it's really EOTM is just ZVZ, and if there's not a Zerg on there, I don't know. I haven't been in there in a while, but
it was kind of cool flipping the keep by myself. I can say I soloed the EOTM keep. So
should be an achievement for it.
there should be.
All right. Well, we have a little bit of news that we can go over, and then we'll jump into the spoilerific review of the Daybreak story. So why don't we take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Yay!
All right.
That was
We're
an
feeding the
excellent
timpanis with
dance
her
moves there,
knitting.
Kora.
I
I love this track. This was like when I was doing. I did a W-Dub series, like a how-to beginner's guide to W-Dub, and that was like my undertone music, and I love it. It works so well. So yeah, we got a little bit of news this week. It was only a week since our last show, but we got quite a bit after the patch. So we got an announcement that Winter's Day is coming. The patch goes live this Tuesday, December 12th, so tomorrow, when this releases. And
Not home to play.
I know there's a couple changes. I guess Toy Apocalypse you can now group up for, which has been a long time request. I'm not sure.
Yep.
I'm kind of thinking that they added something. They're probably not going to plug it, but maybe something small, something new.
Mount race somewhere.
Yeah,
somehow.
I'm sure there's a mount race somewhere in there. So, which
Well,
is
that
fun.
might be fun. Most people like the mount races.
Yeah,
It was
I
fun
mean,
in the labyrinth.
yeah, it was fun in the labyrinth. You know, I don't know, maybe a new skin. I think a new skin's coming.
For sure.
So, so we'll see.
Outfit. Do you think new Winter's Day outfits this year, or is it just going to be the same
Yeah.
one from?
I'm sure they'll do the old one. I think they might do a new one though. There might be a new one.
I actually didn't look at the data mining that.
Wasn't
showed
the
It wasn't much.
wasn't that was it the shoulders or a backpack or something, Kora, you were doing last year? The winter's presents?
Winter's presents. I got it
What?
last year. It's the
Yeah.
snow falling around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
shoulder
kinda
piece
cool.
that causes the snowfall.
I think most.
And
of
I
the-
got it last year.
Yeah, I think most of the people finished it up last year, because I've been hoarding my drinks and they're not selling very much. So, yeah. Oh, as Kyle said, he wants the town skin,
Town
clothes skin that was data mined. They were pretty cool.
Yes.
They were kind of.
Mhm.
It kind of reminded me of what my Norn was wearing in the prison, if I'm thinking of the right thing.
I didn't see him yet.
Is that the one where the for the female characters it looks like the
Yeah.
part of the anatomy is that's not how female anatomy is.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone tweeted that out.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh,
see
I
that.
retweeted it.
Yeah, it may have been from you then.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I
They
didn't
just sort
see
of
that.
look like you took like a ball and you sliced it in half and then you bolted them on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Like coconut
No.
bra,
Mm-mm.
like a tiki bra.
Tiki bra. Coconut shells.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Miko gets it.
I
No,
get it.
I'll have to look it up. I didn't look it up,
Yeah.
but that is
Okay.
coming. They did. The balance team did warn us that there is a new balance that's going to be coming. They're saying that it's small.
Tuesday.
It sounds like they're going. It sounds like they might be going to try to put power on the same level as Kandi after
Yes.
the 1 year meta that's been in place, or 2 year meta, whatever it was. But I mean, it's fine. It's just, you know, usually when we get an announcement about a balance, an incoming balance update that's coming, it's because somebody's not going to be happy.
Mhm.
So we'll have to see.
I know. It's like we just got used to like the new meta, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, you might be needing to regear again.
Yeah. Malfair, and thanks for the
Bazinga.
host.
Bazinga, yeah, lose
Yeah,
all your gold.
Bazinga.
It's like, oh,
Well, I mean,
no.
I don't
Bazinga.
mind that. I like how it kind of mixes things up, you know. And I mean, I don't want people to be upset. I don't want to be like, oh, well, meta doesn't matter. Meta does matter, but it doesn't always matter, you know, depending on who you're playing with. So, I mean, we'll see. I'll see. You know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see what they do. But from the sounds of it, the Kandi is going to be losing its burstiness, and that's going back to power, which was what made Berserker stats so damn good for the first 3 years of the game, I believe it was. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Couple other things. There was a behind the scenes video that was released for Twilight Oasis, and basically a making of how the devs came up with it and did the story and stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I'm going to, and it's pretty cool. It's almost like the interview that we got for the beginning of for Pathfire announcement. So it was kind of the same style that way. So I'm interested in it. I like the behind the scenes stuff. I like when they do that.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's cool.
Nothing else. That's it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, they're interesting to see how their process works, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. They're just kind of like, they have that cool factor, and then you're kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
you just go back into game.
No, that's cool. All right, now the meat and potatoes. We had
Meat and potatoes.
two, believe it or not, WW news type things. So the first one I wanted to highlight was a which one do I have up here? Chris Cleary, as he often does, made a kind of an official announcement on WW forums. The title of the post was a server being held hostage by its population. So Chris Cleary pretty quickly put a response in, just saying, and I quote, "This is something that we are having chats internally about quite often. Essentially, server population is a self-perpetuating problem, and layer on top of that problem region-specific time zone population density, and you end up with a situation like we have right now. It's not an easy problem to solve and not a quick one. I can't yet comment on potential outcomes of the internal discussions. However, I can comment specifically on the situation in EU. With BB topping participation and Kodash surging this week, the difference between the worlds in 3rd and 9th place for participation is only between 5% and 15%. That's actually a good spread if those worlds matched up against each other. However, BB isn't listed as full, and Kodash is. The idea of full server status can mean a number of things, but mostly it's an attempt to balance WW populations so that servers that get matched together have equal playing field of participation. That's clearly not working if BB isn't full ATM. Chris said that he will dig into it significantly more over the next few days on the population/server status situation as a whole. Ideally, he'd like to at least service status updated and working properly before the winter break, but it might happen after, solving the overarching perpetuation of population imbalance is larger issues to tackle. That's not a soon thing. So, I mean, this is a typical, and I don't mean to sound mean, but this is a typical response from Chris Cleary. We've chatted about it. We're looking into it. A fix is coming. I can speak specifically on this situation in North America, specifically with Jade Quarry. I've been over the past few months watching guilds leave Jade Quarry, populations dwindle in Jade Quarry, and yet we are still full and have been full. Jade Quarry and Blackgate are the only two servers in NA that are currently not paired, yet Blackgate can add new servers where Jade Quarry has not been able to add new servers for several months, and that's why we are doing the blackout that we organized last week. Not what the people on the forums are saying about it, that we're just looking for fights. We're actually looking to open our server because it has been open in months, and we're just losing people, not gaining people. So it's a manual process as far as I know, and it needs to be fixed. I mean, that's all it comes down to. You know, I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. The last time Chris Cleary spoke out about something, there was a pretty quick fix for what he was talking about, and you know, we'll see what comes, but something definitely needs to happen. I mean, you just said it, right, Gallios? There's like nobody in WW right now, not even in EOTM.
Yeah, it's pretty dead right now. I mean, I jump into the Borderlands just to kind of get a feel of where everything is, just to kind of see if there are people playing. I mean, we're still doing something. I mean, we got points flipping, and JQBL was all green. So, I mean, I think people are playing, but they're kind of laying back a little, you know, because especially like with somebody like me, 75% of the time I'm in Guild Wars 2, I'm in World v World, and I've been in maybe 10% in the last couple of weeks. Our guild went out on last Sunday, and we ran, and you know, we took a vote. We were going to go to EOTM, and I was like, no, you know what? There's not enough people on the map for 7 of us to make a big difference in population density. Let's go ahead and do our guild raid. Let's go ahead and play. And so we did, and it was fun. I mean, the rankings came quick. I got quite a few tickets while we were playing Sunday night because we were outnumbered on every single map. Like, every map was outnumbered, even our own JQBL. So I can see it happening, but the rest of the time I've been out, you know, trying to stick with the wishes of the leadership, you know. So there were a few guilds that came out, and my guess is they wanted to play really badly, and they were out. So we had one tag up on Sunday night, but it wasn't a big group. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I did have another suggestion linked for WW, but it looks like it may have been deleted. So that's
the other one was on the forums as well, and asked me to log in when I tried to go to it.
Yeah. I think it got deleted because I logged in and it said I didn't have permission to do that. So,
well, the person that wrote that original forum post did a really good job expressing things. I mean, it was very professional, very good job.
Well, we'll move on from that. That was from a post from Skyshroud .2865. I'm looking for it now on the forums. It looks like it might have been taken down.
Taken down, looks like.
So, yeah. So sorry about that. Anyway, there's a lot of discussion. There was really good discussion in the PvP forums, and I did see some complaints on Reddit about that. But, you know, it seems like they are trying to engage people. The only thing that upsets me is McKenna is the one who's in charge, at least last I know, and she has not been. I have not seen her participate in forums or AMAs or anything like that. So, like I said in July, when the huge sweeping changes came in the competitive mission pack, that was a phase 1 fix for WW, and unfortunately we need phase 2. We need phase 2 because the grind is just about over.
Yeah, it's time for something to happen, and I kind of like the factions idea a bit.
Yeah. So
So
well,
So do you think that there's promise for something to happen, at the new year
no.
or after the new year? Because right now, I mean, nothing's going to happen because Winter's Day and Christmas and all that stuff is coming up. So
Honestly, my take on WW is it cannot be monetized, and it won't be. It won't be dealt with in an aggressive manner as it needs to be fixed and balanced properly until it can be monetized is my thoughts on it. We were promised before Colin left, we were told that there was a fix that was being worked on for over a year. That was 2 years ago. That we've seen changes, and they've been good changes, and they spark a fire for WW for a little bit, but the persistent changes aren't there. And I don't doubt Chris Cleary when he says it's a hard problem to fix, but the easy way to fix it is to not have 24 servers, in my opinion. And that's not a popular opinion, I know, but if you were to downsize the servers and make a couple key changes like that, and figure out a way to match people fairly, it could work. It's a great game mode. It's a lot of fun, and people are into it. But I mean, I just don't see the focus on it. That's just my opinion. Gallios, did you want to add to that?
No, I was just gonna say that it's not a focus. It's a game mode that has a specific genre of player. And I think that's really the biggest drawback of it. Most of the folks that come to Guild Wars 2, they want to play the story, and they want to play PvE, which is all well and good. It's great. But there are a few of us that enjoy strategy games, and I think that's the appeal for me. Like, I do like strategy. It's the one thing I'm good at. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a specific genre of player for that particular game mode. You know what I mean?
I would disagree. Softly. I would softly disagree, because I remember back when Guild Wars 2 launched, WW was just about as popular as open world PvE, at least from my experience. I remember map queues for days. I remember not being able to get into WW sometimes until Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, but it was also fresh. I mean, it was a throwback to games like Age of Camelot and stuff like that, because the Age of Camelot's just open world servers against servers. I mean, all the time. So I think it was just a throwback. And I do want to bring back World v World Havoc Squad Night. That would be amazing. We just don't have enough people. That was from Tinkin. So old school Mog Nation.
The issue started off with I mean, frankly, piss poor rewards that were repaired with a lot of grind. Yeah. I'm halfway done with that backpack. I love that backpack when I saw it, but now I look at it and I see how much higher up the mountain I have to climb, and I'm just like,
I'm almost there.
I don't need it that bad. Yeah, and you're just, you're doing your thing. You're slow and steady.
If I can't get my commander spoon, there's no way I'm getting a backpack.
Well, you could. It's just a lot of grind. Even after the changes, it was like spending all my limited game time in WW, and that's not.
Yeah,
not worth
if you're
it
going, the thing is if you're going in it for the reward, it's a different experience than if you just enjoy playing that game mode all the time. So, and that's, I think, I want the reward, but I'm not playing it for that reward. I don't want it to degrade the way you like to play it, buddy. I mean, I just want to
I love
kind of,
I love
you know,
ZVZ. I love
yeah,
open
I do
field
too, and
fights.
it's
I love
just,
frontline in that. That's better than a raid. That's better than anything. Stand on a front line for half an hour, engaged in a battle with another server, and just
or in the garrison when it's a 3 versus 3, man.
yeah,
I mean,
three-way
like,
fights for stone mist. And they still happen. It's not that it doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
I think you
Just-
nailed on the head. It's the same game mode as it was 5 years ago when everything else had such sweeping changes, and WW still hasn't. So
right.
we're gonna move on from that. But there's some good discussion. You know, we all love our WW. I'd like to get back into it. It's good that I'm away from the game because I'm starting to miss things.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
I miss you. I miss my warrior tank, bro.
Yeah,
I need you back because it's just not my cup of tea.
We'll see.
Need you back soon.
Soon. I'm sure it will. All right, so that's all the news we had. The last thing I wanted to do was, you know, we've had a rocky year and we've had a good year and a rocky year, but I wanted to make sure that all of us had a chance to say happy holidays and best wishes to all the devs, every single one of them.
Yep.
Even
Happy Winter's Day.
even Mo,
Happy
I
Winter's
guess.
Day, yeah. They
Even
work
Mo,
hard,
I
you
guess.
know. We give
Yeah.
them a lot of grief when we don't agree with their decisions.
Yeah.
But they work hard. They're very passionate people about the game,
Mhm.
and you know, they work hard at giving us something. And I think that on balance this year, I've been very happy with Guild Wars 2. And I've gone in. You guys have encouraged me to go into World versus World, and that was fun. I had the most fun in World versus World this past couple of months that I was running for the Gift of Battle, but than I had ever. And it was fun. It was
Yeah.
just fun to just go in there. But yeah, thank you. Happy holidays to the devs.
The game is fun. The game is permeated. The game is created by a bunch of passionate people, and it is also played by a bunch of passionate people.
Passionate people,
And
yeah.
we all sometimes kind of clash in the middle.
Yeah.
But you know what it comes down to is at the end of the year, these guys are going on break, I believe, on the 15th, and I hope that they have a great holiday, and it's well
You
deserved,
deserve it. Yep.
very well deserved. And
Yeah.
you know, best
I mean,
wishes.
even when I haven't agreed with something, it's never been because I thought, oh, the devs have purposely thought, how can we make this game terrible?
No.
No, everything
No.
that happens in the
No, the
game, I
devs
know is
don't.
the result of somebody going, how can we make this game better
Better.
and more fun?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
sometimes it works, and sometimes
Sometimes it doesn't, and
the
that's
player
okay.
base, yeah, it doesn't.
In the gaming
Uh,
community overall, it is becoming extremely apparent of where the line is, where you have the devs that create the things that they love to see in 3D space and pixels and textures and polygons and everything else, and then you have the people that sit above where their only creativity is how can they increase their profit margin by 2% or by 0.5%. It's becoming very apparent. There's a reason why EA lost $6 billion in stock revenue.
Yeah,
And that's also a trend in the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Their artistic inputs being overshadowed by greed.
It's a bottom
I think
line.
that's
Yeah.
and that's the balance that artists have been fighting for
Absolutely.
For
centuries.
centuries. Yeah, for
Centuries, and so it's nothing. Sadly it's nothing new, and I think it's I love it when artistry triumphs.
Yeah.
Because you get to see that creativity just shining forth, and you
Absolutely.
see, wow, what an imagination! Not just the imagination, the vision to have to create something, but then to actually do it and bring it to life. That's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And I don't want people to get a mixed message from me. I still love this game. The recent changes, changes in my Twitter profile and everything else is because I don't want people devaluing my opinion by saying I'm looking for internet popularity points. So I've just become me because that's who I am. So, but anyway, we got sidetracked again. To all the devs, I'm gonna steal Tenkin's line. Happy Winter's Day, Dwayne's blessings to all, and to all a good raid.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Praise Joko, right?
No.
that's it. Miko's off the show.
I'm joking.
She's fired.
That's okay, but you got to clean up show notes the way she does.
Oh no, that's not happening.
You
I've
have
been
to
on the show
actually
how long?
open them before the show.
You actually open. Like I think I've opened like 2.
Yeah. No. All right. So that's doing it for the news. We're gonna be back after this break with our spoilerific Daybreak review part 2.
Awesome.
And welcome back.
Oh my God, we were gone so long.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, so this is the obligatory spoilerific warning. I believe all the other podcasts have already covered this, but I'm still going to say we are going full on deep into the lore and the story, the narrative that came with Daybreak. So this is your last chance.
Did you throw up a spoiler tag?
Yeah, I did in Twitch. Does anybody else need
Good
a break while Gallios is AFK?
No, I'm making a little Cthulhu. Here's one of its
Is that what you're doing?
footsie. Yeah.
I was toying with the idea of converting my Quaggan tree ornament pattern into a Choya one this year.
Oh.
But the Choya are a bit more bumpy. They've got a bit more texture to them, so I've got to figure out how I would create that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm still.
maybe next year.
Oh, I shouldn't. I put the unicorn. I finished the unicorn finally for my niece, and I put it out in the car to be safe from the dog that lives here.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Why
it's
are
like
Choyas so
legit.
popular? Like, why are
I don't know,
Choyas
they're
and
ridiculous.
Quaggan like so popular?
Because
The
they're
Quaggan at least are
ridiculous.
cute.
They're not. They're slimy, land-dwelling
cute.
fish. Quaggan
Or
I
are.
don't-
something.
I feel like they're probably mammalian.
Well, maybe they're
not
mammalian.
fish.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because they don't have nipples. Peter
Amphibians.
Freeze already said that. Remember?
No, we talked about this. There was a long chat on Twitter, which I was regrettably a part of, and there is, what is it? The platypus is a mammal but doesn't have nipples. It just secretes its milk through its armpits or something like that.
Yeah.
So technically, Quaggan could be mammals too.
It's amazing when you come back from a quick break and the first word you hear is nipples.
Nipples. All right, so Gallios is back. Take a couple seconds. All right, so Daybreak, the story. We talked about the map last week, and we all gave it a 10 out of 10 for the map. So now we're going to dive into the narrative. We're just going to kind of go through the different story steps and, you know, what we felt about it and what we liked and what we didn't like. So the first part of the mission was the Eye of the Brandstorm. So we dun, dun, dun. So we find out through the living story eventually that Kralkatorrik has flown away and is basically just sitting on a mountain deep in meditation with Corey with Jory and Casimir. Well, I guess Corey watching because they are shipped, right? Isn't that something that the
Right.
the kids do?
Yeah.
They're shipped.
Corey.
So
Did you just create a ship
I
name,
did, I
Gord?
did.
He did.
Wow.
That's
Well
adorable.
done.
All right, so I mean that was interesting. The other thing that we find out, it basically, you know, all hell broke loose pretty quick. The Brandstorm hit Amnoon, crystals started shattering everywhere, and the other thing we found out that now Kralkatorrik's minions are able to brand humans and whatnot, non-branded creatures, as well as Kralkatorrik can raise the dead. So we were getting branded risen. So it's like a whole slew of shiznick
All the
going on
things that
right
you
now.
wanted
Yeah,
to get
there
rid
is.
of, you're still now we've so long as they don't come along and start saying, you know, the pain's here or whatever it is those stupid Rizid always say, and I just want to like, can I shoot you now? I can't kill you.
Death, good.
Yes. Good.
Return, die.
Mhm.
All those. All right, that was too much. Anyway, So that was the first part. We go through and we have to cleanse Amnun. And one thing that I didn't pick up on, and probably because I chose neutral, is the choice that you took for Amnun's alliance, whether it remain neutral, go to the Sun Spears, or go to the Morning Crescent, came back to haunt you in this. So I picked
Oh.
neutral, so I don't
I
know
picked
what the
neutral.
other changes were.
I picked Sun Spears.
Did you? So I know when we were defending, I had priests of Cormyr that were defending the villagers and helping them go.
Yes.
We also had
That's what I did.
Hasim, I believe it was
Yeah.
his name. He was Hamasine or something like that. He was
No,
like
the Hamasine were the shoot. The Hamasine were an organization.
Right.
You're talking about a specific dude though.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
the dude.
close
I
to
don't know.
that. I think it was Hasim who was the captain of the guard.
Yes.
Did you
got-
guys notice? Cor, did you notice who was there? Did you have the same thing, Priestess of Cormyr?
Same
or-
thing.
That's what you
Same
had.
thing.
What did you pick
Mhm.
for your story?
No.
Sun Spears.
Oh, you did pick Sun Spears.
Yeah, I think on the character that I went through, I had picked Sun Spears as well.
It was interesting. It's a
So,
nice
yeah.
little thing where your decisions come back to haunt you a little bit.
Mhm.
You know.
There may be subtle changes in it, based on your decision. It just they're not going to stray too far from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's gonna
Because
create more
that is
work
a-
if you did.
That's a big giant. That's a
Mm.
big
Yeah.
giant undertaking to try to
That's
do
a-
3 different paths. So
Well, we'll get to
I
that.
mean-
I'm not.
well,
We'll get to that later. Anyway, the first instance was really cool. The best part about it, and it was kind of the best part, but the worst part, the first time I played through, I didn't notice it until near the end, but Aurene was actually fighting the wyvern, the
Mhm.
branded wyvern. And it was pretty cool. She was like swooping in, and the wyvern would come in and throw these things, and then Aurene would come and spit some glint juice on her, and they would fly off into the distance.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is what you wouldn't let me talk about last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool. It was like the only thing I had
It is.
done.
It is cool, but when you
Yeah.
have like 100 branded in front of you coming at you all
Yeah,
at the
and
same
you can't
time,
really pay
it's
attention.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to see in a party, and this is again one of my longtime complaints, and it's kind of, I can see both sides of the argument, but I play the story first by myself because I want to play at my pace and everything else. And there's no scaling. The content is made for groups, and it gets a little silly because even though you're there, they give you the NPCs, they give you Ritlock, and Canuck was there to help out, but half the time, Canuck was staring at the wall, and
Yeah.
the baddies always seem to target me.
Yeah.
So that's my little complaint. And I understand, but the first time I play the story, I'm not playing with anybody else. I shut off Discord. I close my door. I go offline. I set my status to offline on the game, and I play the story.
I'm pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I'm play solo. I mean, heck, most of the time I'm replaying story. I'm playing it
Yeah.
solo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll only go for achievements if I'm in a group. Sometimes you can get them; they're not too bad, But most of the time, I'll say that. So for the first instance, you basically battle your way through Amnun. You have to clear the branded out, and you end up fighting the wyvern at the end, or wyvern. I don't even know how to say it anymore. But you fight that dude at the end, and I mean, there was some new mechanics to it, but I was a little disappointed with it because it felt like a Heart of Thorns wyvern with a crocotoric skin. The animations were almost the same. The tells were a little different.
Yeah.
So there was some updating to it, but it just seemed like a Heart of Thorns one, which I guess makes sense because now crocotoric has 3 dragons and a god power, 4 dragons and a god, right? He's got Morty. No, he's got 5. He's got Morty. He's got Zaitan. No, 4. Jormag and Primordius.
No, but Jormag and Primordius weren't killed.
But Jormag and Primordius by proxy through Balthazar, right?
No, because they're still sleeping. They're still around.
Yeah, but
They're just
Balthazar
sleeping.
took their.
He took some of their power.
He
Yeah.
took
He siphoned a
some.
little
I don't
bit,
know if
but
he
like
took enough.
Oh, I see what
I
you're
don't-
saying.
I
though.
don't know if
Yeah.
it
took
him
No,
then.
I agree with that. I see what you're saying.
And
They would
if it
have to
went
be
through
dead.
him, it would have. I almost want to think he would have it would have converted into just Balthazar power. It wouldn't have still been necessarily those spheres. So
No, that's true.
I would say we only count the ones that are actually dead.
Dead.
Yeah. No, that's true. I can see that. So two dragons and a god. So he's pretty badass. I'm interested to see because it's like, I mean, we'll get to through the rest of the current crisis through the story, but it's interesting because it's like there's these two huge issues going on, and it's like, which one do you pick? You know, and obviously we'll get through it and we'll know which one we pick. But all right, so that's the first part. Anybody have anything special that they want to talk about with this part, with this story step?
What did you think of the encounter itself against the wyvern? I mean, I know you weren't really jazzed by the telegraphs, and it just felt kind of meh.
The tells were a little different. The attack pattern was a
Yeah.
little different. But overall, the fight was okay. But I like the way they're going with these boss fights. The amount of, I don't know, the amount of skill that it takes to get through it is it's not like face rolling a world boss. You know, it's
Right.
Yeah.
you have to think.
Yeah.
You have to
It
think.
was
You have
just
to figure
enough.
it
It
out.
gives you
You've got to
just
come
enough.
up with some sort of strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think on the change your pattern up. while
Yeah,
you're trying
that's
to
I was
survive.
thinking the exact same thing.
Mhm.
It wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible if you paid attention.
I think it was
You
well
know, so
balanced.
you just pay
Yeah.
attention. Yeah, it was. You just pay attention, but I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it.
I had fun once I figured out where all the crystals were.
Yes.
Because it was like, hey, go to attack the crystals. And I kept looking around for some of them, and I was like, I can't, there's none. What are they talking about? There are no crystals.
Yeah.
And they were like up on the roof.
Up
And
on the roof.
it would have been helpful
If
to
you-
just have an NPC that says, look, up on the roof, there's the crystal,
Yeah.
go
But if
destroy
you
it.
watch,
Yeah.
what helped me
The
was
dome.
watch the arcs. You watch the
It
arcs
took
on the
me a while
stream.
to figure
With
that
the
out.
dome, they had
I'm
to
not gonna
shoot
lie.
in
I
the
wasn't
middle.
especially
There is
smart.
a shape. You gotta scroll all the way out, and you'll
There
see a
was a-
shape with
There
the
was like a beam that came
Yeah,
up from
Yeah,
it or
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
That's how
Once
I
I
found it.
figured that out, then yeah, but it took longer than it should have, I think, for me. And maybe I was just not paying attention that
I
day,
was there
but
for half an hour before I figured it out.
okay.
So don't feel
Wow.
bad,
I'm-
girly.
Well, so I
Don't
did
feel
something
bad.
quicker than Gord
There
did.
you go.
baby.
Well, I'm a little rusty, you know. I'm a little rusty.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
This is
so that
true.
was the first story step. I mean, it was good. So next story step is Under the Stars, and that we once we clear everything out, we find one of the Order of not what is it?
Shadows?
Shadows. That's it. I couldn't remember what it was. So we find one of their agents, and they bring us to the domain of Istan, which we talked about last week. The map was awesome, but once we arrived there, you know, you have to set your base camp and kind of get your bearings. But we find out that we have to find the Astrolarium, which was a landmark from Guild Wars 1, which was very nice to see. But the coolest thing is, as soon as I came around the corner, I started getting hit by this thing, and I saw Loyal Dervish, and I was like,
Yes.
what the?
What? Uh-huh.
And I killed the
Paragon.
Dervish, and I came around the corner, and there's the Loyal Paragon. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
I know.
Yeah.
So it was good to see. And to me, that made sense because they've basically been under siege and
Isolated.
gated in for so long that why would that profession kind of evolve the way it did in Tyria? So,
Yeah.
so I mean, that was cool. Getting to the Astrolarium was okay. I forgot where it was in Nightfall. I knew kind of the general area, but I ended up running to the Sunspirit Great Hall first, or the Morning Crescent Great Hall first, and then running to Palawadon right after that.
Yeah.
And thankfully the meta wasn't going on, so I was like, where the hell do I go? And then I kind of went up on the mountain and sat there for a while, and then I realized, okay, I know where it is, and I went and found it. So, I mean, it was very striking. The area was very striking.
Yes.
The
Yeah, the whole map was lovely.
Yeah, there was a little bit of dissatisfaction for me because again, I mean a Norn, and my Norn sure as hell knows a lot about human lore. For a Norn that really just wants to get drunk and kill things and be
Yeah.
the biggest, baddest legend there is in Holbrook, you know, he knows quite a bit about human history. So that was a little disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been disappointed at how they haven't put in some like race specific stuff, or even just like questions like, what do you mean? We've had that in previous can't remember if it was Living World or I know it was in the personal story, but just, you know, being curious, showing that sort of curiosity for the races to kind of want to learn more. But yeah.
Their lack of doing that makes me feel like they were working on Guild Wars 2 right now, like if it was the start, like Guild Wars 2 wasn't released yet, they wouldn't make other races, they would just make human. It really feels like in some ways they regret having the other races because they don't want to have to do the differences for the other races.
Yeah, but
they don't want to branch out that way anymore.
But literally, you could have gotten away with an Asura not needing a guide, but for the other three races, you could have just put an NPC guide who, you know, like you didn't even have to tell you. Like you go running. If I went running towards Morning Crest and Great Hall, it could be like, "Hey, you're going the wrong way. Where are you going? Come over here." You know, and get you back on track, and not necessarily.
A moment, sir.
Exactly.
A moment, sir. You've taken
Commander,
the wrong
a word.
path.
Commander, a word. But no, stuff like that. Like it's a it's a little jarring in the story. It's a little jarring.
Where it feels like if they had the choice, like if they could go back in time, they would have been like, "Hey, doing multiple races is too much work. Just do humans." Because all the armor that they do pretty much is just now, even outfits, it's human. Everything is human. There's no Norn. There's not really Char theme. There's not really Asura theme. Timey we got because Timey, but everything that comes out where it's just like if it's not tied to a character, it's just human geared.
Well, hopefully it's something that just evolves because eventually we're hopefully going to be going north and east into the Flame Legion homelands to do something with those guys and address some of the other the northern Shiver Peaks for the Norn and
but we went west for Mordremoth. I mean, I acknowledge Heart of Thorns had its own issues, but like we got nothing Sylvari specific there, so why would you suddenly like
did
armor
in the story some
a little bit, but like
the whole story was about Sylvari. They all turned into Mordrim.
No, I mean like item-wise, like there wasn't armor that felt like, oh, you're finally adding more Sylvari armor, or
like that,
so there was nothing specific race-wise that way. So why would they then go, hey, here's armor that's Norn specific or whatever? Like anytime we get anything that is race specific, like Asura glider or Asura outfits, it feels more incidental instead of purposely acknowledged.
No, it's true. All right, so getting back to it. So once we're at the Astrolarium, I got sidetracked by the meta there, where basically the Awakened come tromping into the library and start stealing books.
Stealing books, yeah.
And then they tromp out, and you have to like run behind them and beat them with a stick. Beat them with whatever you can to get them to drop the book, and then bring them back. So I thought that was cute. I did like that meta.
Get off my lawn!
It was funny. But we go through and you have to kind of. I did the hearts. I had heard that one of my friends said that you have to do the hearts, so I just did the hearts while I was there. I beat the heart. And then I found my way to the Inner Sanctum, the special library that's locked up, to find the Nightfall book, solve the riddle, and basically we find out that the Sun Spears are still alive and well. They're hidden, and they're more of a guerrilla rebellion than they were, but they're still there. But alas, the Grand Marshal, the Grand Poobah of the Sun Spears, I don't remember what the title is.
The Spear Marshal.
So the Spear Marshal was kidnapped. No, went to Champion's Dawn in order to free the village. Because with Joko, because this is another thing too that we'll find out later as we go through the story, it's not quite definite if Joko is back or not.
Mhm.
Some people are like, Joko's back, but then there were statements that, well, no, Joko's not back.
Especially, maybe I'm too early.
Yeah, you're too early. Let's
Especially
wait for
with the
that. Let's
clue?
wait for that. I know where you're going.
Okay.
So let's
okay.
wait for that. But the impression is that Joko is back, and
Yes.
the Spear Marshal had managed to free Champion's Dawn in his absence, but now the Morning Crescent came back and resurged and took it over. So he went to help assist everybody with taking it back. So we're gonna go there and help him. So go over there, do another heart, and you know, that was that. So Champion's Dawn was pretty straightforward. It was a battle. You had to do the heart for that one, I believe, to get the I don't remember who it was. Was it just a Lightbringer or a
He was
Sun
a
Spear?
priest.
Oh,
He was a
it was a
priest, yeah.
priest.
Mhm.
So you have to find the priest. I did the heart along the way, which made it take a little bit longer. But you find out that the Spear Marshal has been kidnapped. Dun dun dun. So it's like, okay, this poor guy. First he goes to do a battle, then he gets kidnapped by the dirty, sleazy Corsair pirates,
Yes.
who
Are
are
related
led
to?
by the descendants of Magrid the Sly, who was a hero in Guild Wars 1.
Right.
So
Yeah,
Yep.
that was
um,
cool.
how did you guys take that? Like, did you guys talk to the elder priest before moving on?
I did.
I did too.
Did you know who was in the cave?
No.
No.
you
Well,
didn't?
I had seen a stream, so I knew who was in the cave.
Oh,
But
so you were
I
spoiled.
hadn't. But even while I was watching the streamer play it out, I had no clue. And then he got into the cave, and I was like, oh!
I know, that's
so
what I did
sad.
too. My first reaction was,
I was like, oh my god!
My first reaction was, well, I'm glad I didn't write the story for the Guild Mag that I thought I was going to write because this doesn't work.
I knew
Yeah.
that it was. I knew that it was Kos. I talked to the elder priest and I listened to everything. I read all that lore, and I recall, and I'm not sure if I was making it up in my head or not, or if it was just because I figured it out because they already touched Talcora, they already touched Dunkoro, they touched Magrid now, and I kind of figured it out that way. But I seem to recall a bit of lore in Guild Wars 1 where Magrid lost that coin to Kos. I believe that was actually in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Something I didn't remember, but
I don't
yeah.
remember exactly, but I think that was in the story. So once they started mentioning Magrid's coin and everything, I was like, that's Kos. So, of course, you
I'm
go...
super excited.
Yeah, you
to
go
see.
around the corner and...
And he's like a lot taller now. What the heck is that about?
It's better polygons.
I get it.
He did seem a little bit taller,
I know.
but
I was
he
like,
was done so well. And I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that they got the original voice actor from Guild Wars 1
I was going to say,
to
the
voice him
I
voice,
was
again.
to say,
And if
yeah,
they
it sounds
voiceover
great.
was perfect.
Yeah, if they didn't,
Yeah.
whoever that voice actor is did a great freaking job on Kos because,
I'm gonna look it up.
yeah, Tenkin's saying Kos has been working out for 250 years.
I mean, he put himself in solitary. I mean, what else are you going to do, right?
Well, it was funny. It was Kos because, Kos is the only one who ever talked to himself in third person in Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, which is by far the most awesome thing ever. And then he also just made Joko give him just to the most detailed minutia of orders that Joko was just like, get this freaking guy out of my face. And he did it because he loved the Sun Spear so much, and he loved Alona so much that he didn't want to hurt anybody, and he didn't want to serve Joko. So that's how he did it, and he ended up being in the cave. So it was kind of bittersweet because you needed to win Magrid's coin in order to progress the story, but now it was kind of like Kos didn't really have a purpose, and he's hoping that he's not called again, because being
That's
an
the only
awakened,
sad part.
yeah,
Yeah.
being an
Well-
awakened, it's hard for him not to follow Joko's commands.
Now, I didn't see this, but Tankin saw this in the story he was playing. I'm like, I need to go play it again, figure out how I get this dialogue. Apparently, you can talk to Koss, I guess, after beating him, and he tells you what happens and about how he told Milani to get out with their
Yeah.
kids, but
Mhm.
like doesn't know what happened to her, like doesn't know if she actually got out, and like so doesn't know that his descendants are still around. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
person who's in the Order of Shadows is one of his descendants, and Tankin said that he had dialogue option to tell him or to talk with him and tell him or something. Tankin would have to correct me on exactly what it is. And when I played through, I didn't have that
I
option.
didn't have that option either.
Yeah, I didn't have that option either.
So I'm
That's another little hidden thing. That's pretty cool that
Yeah,
they're
that's
putting
pretty
that
cool.
in, which would seem to be, never mind. I'm not going to go there yet. But anyway, that's it. So we're about halfway through the story now. We've found Koss and dealt with him, you know, and got another closure they're really treating the Guild Wars 1 champions very well. Very well. And I
Yes.
have a feeling that this is going to be a theme that goes into the far Shiver Peaks when we get up there, because you know there's been more, but they've been touching on these characters really well. It's very nice to see it in the story.
I love the fan service.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love it, especially coming from the new writing team who are not longtime players. You know, like
Yeah.
we said
Mhm.
before, most of them are new to the game as players. They got hired on. They said, okay, we work for this company, so we need to honor what came before us, and they're doing a really good job.
No,
Yeah, we are.
absolutely. All right, so next, convincing the Corsairs. So now we have to go and bring the coin to Magrid's great granddaughter. Maybe one too
That
many
sounds-
greats, but about somewhere in there.
Mhm.
We show her the coin. You know, we get through everything. We show her the coin. She hatches a plan, and because she had already turned the Spear Marshal over to the Awakened who were looking for him. So the Spear Marshal is now in the Morden Crescent Great Hall in the prison there. So she's bound to do a favor for the commander because he has the coin, and he commands that she get him inside the prison and help him to, you know, break out the Sun Spear, the Spear Marshal. So we end up having to concoct this massive grog, which you can't have a pirate quest without grog.
Well, grog, yeah.
So, you know, you run halfway across
Gotta
the
have
map again.
Yeah.
You know, you get all the ingredients, come back, and you finally make it. So now most of that story step was just running. I did the heart while I was there because it's a really good feature that now once you do the heart, they give you credit for that, even if you don't finish all the hearts. So I love that feature. So if I'm there, I'm going to do the heart just to get it done and out of the way. So now we go to rescue the hero of Istan, the Spear Marshal. And it's a pretty ingenious plan. The commander pretends to have been captured by... does anybody remember the NPC's name? The Sly? What was her name?
I
can't believe
can't-
you're asking this.
I can't remember it. That's why I'm asking it. Hey, I'm honest.
I'll
I
look
can't
it
remember
up.
her name. I don't
Yeah.
want to keep saying, well, Margaret's great.
Saida.
Saida.
Yes.
Saida the Sly.
That was it. I knew I was testing
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Wiki.
Anyway, thank you, Miko. But Saida comes up with this plan. You also have the Order of Shadows, who the only quip in the game. Thank you for that. There was only one joke, and it actually worked. The agent from the Order of Shadows kept popping in, and Saida finally said, "Look, if you pop into my ship one more time, I'm going to shoot you in the face," which I thought was pretty funny.
That was good.
So that was really the only quip aside from the obligatory Canuck dialogue, which is always welcome. But anyway, we meet outside the Great Hall, Morden Crescent Great Hall, and she binds your arms, takes your weapons, and brings you inside. So we find out then that the warden of the prison in the Morden Crescent Great Hall is Amala, who is the boss from the Fractal that we killed last week. which was freaking awesome. I
Yeah.
loved that connection. It was so
Mm-hmm.
awesome because we got to see both sides of the story. And the fractal worked, and just seeing her there, I didn't know it at that point. I knew it after I had done the fractal. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gallios, you
I
had
like
it the
the way
right
that
way
they're weaving
around.
Yeah,
To-
the way they're tying it together is just really good.
Yep.
So
I
you,
had it the right way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I got in, I was like, oh yeah, this is the part they were talking about. Because all of you guys during the fractal were like, what? I was totally lost.
yeah. But Amala is a dervish, you know, and she is the boss from the fractal, the newest fractal, Twilight Oasis. And it was just nice seeing that. But at that point, the plan goes awry because Timey starts calling for you on the communicator, which nobody knew you had. And Amala gives you a punch in the head and knocks you out. So you wake up half naked in the cell. And this is going to be interesting because I'm sure that all of us played on a different character. I played on Warrior. Miko, what did you play on?
I played on human.
Human.
Chrono,
Human.
or did you play your
No,
Chrono?
human female ranger.
Ranger. So Gallios, you did
Yeah.
the Ranger as well, and
Human female engineer.
engineer. So you wake up in the cell and you have to figure out a way out, and there's all these different things in the room, and each profession interacts with a different thing. So for me
Really?
being the
I didn't know that.
warrior, I checked everything and I didn't find anything, and all of a sudden I became so enraged at the thought of not being able to escape that I just beat the snot out of I got a special action key, beat the snot out of the cage hinges.
That's
and
awesome.
and
Nice.
blew the thing off of the door, which was
Really?
That's awesome.
really freaking cool.
That's hilarious.
So-
I checked everything, and then I like used things to like wiggle the hinges and get out.
That's awesome.
I
I think
checked
we had a
everything and got a
bone or
stick
something
or
like that.
something. Yeah.
You have like a bone or a stick or,
Yeah.
or something, and
Mm-hmm.
pick the
You ended-
lock or
Pick the
because
lock.
it goes on the hinges, but the door opens. It doesn't
Yeah.
fall
I know.
down.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, no, that's what happened with
That's
me
cool.
too. But it was really cool. So now all 9 of the professions does something
See, I like
slightly
when they do
different.
this.
It's
I
really
like when
cool,
they do
yeah,
this.
because it gives it a little bit more replayability. I mean, it's probably going to
Yeah.
get spoiled. You're probably not going to see it all, but I mean, I would still go and experience that. So that
Oh,
was
yeah.
another nice little touch. But what ends up happening is you find out, you come to and you're awake. You don't quite know what's going on with Timey. She sounded very, very scared.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to get out, and you have to get the spear marshal out, and you have to find out what's going on with Timey. So Saida's plan worked in that all of the awakened had a swig of this special grog, and now they're all
Jacked up.
shit-faced.
Yeah.
They're just done. So it's kind of a Metal Gear Solid part where they had the little cone of visibility in front of them, and you had to wiggle your way out and through, which I did pretty easily. And then you end up back in the Great Hall, and you fight Amala, which was a very satisfying fight. It was a very good boss fight. The tornadoes sucked, I'm not gonna lie. The tornadoes were a little bit OP, but the fight itself was a lot of fun. And the worst part about it is, as you're fighting Amala, Timey is coming through on the communicator,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
obviously pooping her pants.
Distressed. Yeah.
She's on her 3rd pair of pants, obviously distressed, scared, and you can't. And she's
There's
desperate
nothing you can do.
to the point
Yeah.
where it's heartbreaking. Where she's like, "Why aren't you answering me?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, if I could reach in this freaking screen right now."
I know it brought emotion
Yeah.
out.
It did.
Definitely
It
brought
was.
emotion
It
out.
was
definitely
very
sparked some
good.
emotion. And it was the only thing that I didn't. I'll be honest, it was the only thing that I didn't see coming, and we'll find out what happened with Timey. But it's another good fight, and the dervish fights are very. Her fight, Amala's fight, is very satisfying because she switches through the 5 avatars of the gods, including Balthazar. So her attacks are changing constantly. You have to break the bar when she goes to Duena's, so she doesn't heal. And at first I thought she was a mesmer because she just kept making illusions, but it was because she was switching in and out of Lissa to Grenth, and
Yeah.
it was really cool. I mean, I wish again there was some great visuals going on there, but with all the tells, I mean, at one point there was like little slivers of floor that was not an AOE damage ring.
They used a lot of the same mechanics that they used in the open world encounter, where you have to go into the Sunspear Great Hall to fight her. So I'd gotten sucked into the map first, so when that interrupted my story play. So I actually had fought her a couple of times out in the open world. So by the time I see her in the story step, I was like, oh, okay, it's just this. I'll go over here and over there. Yeah, I got this.
Nice.
So, but we finally beat Mala, and again another heartbreaking point. She says something like finally I can rest or something like that, where she's obviously happy that she's free from Joko. Yeah. So so that's done, and then you get your communicator, and now did Timmy say anything at that point? I think during the whole fight she's like, he's coming, and I'm like, Joko's got this bitch, she's done. So
which is why Tankin was being so mean to me, and he was like, yeah, Timmy gets turned, and I was like, no.
Yeah. So at any rate, I don't remember if you actually got to talk to her after that. I think if you did get to talk at the end of the encounter, it was just like, he's coming, please hurry, and you gotta go. So but you have to fight your way out because all the awakened are coming in, and when those doors pop open, it is like just swarms of awakened coming in. It's pretty epic. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But again, you get through that. I had a tough time because I was actually running my hybrid berserker build. My second time through, I switched back to my spellbreaker, and it was a little bit easier. It was a lot easier.
I didn't have any trouble with Soul Beast.
Yeah, see,
Soul Beast is OP.
the POF professions, it's the power creep. It's the power creep. I did the same thing with Heart of Thorns. I went through Heart of Thorns in my soldiers, open PvE build that I was doing, and I played Berserker after I was done beating, and I was like, wow, I should have just done this darn thing. So that was that. So that's it. We now have to, I believe the Spear Marshal went and helped free and liberate Champions Dawn, and then was meeting us at Farfennugan.
It's my
Gallios gets surprised.
It's
one of my favorite areas.
It is, but this is we find out we have to meet them there, and now this was another part of the story.
Let me just say, I am so excited that they are bringing back or dipping into some of my favorite lore ever. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but I am so excited. I cannot wait for the next living story.
Anyway, so you get to Farfennugan, or whatever it is, and in Farfennugan, and you immediately, like, you kind of come in, and it was a little misstep for me here because it went from I need to get Timmy now, we need to get Timmy now, to let's look upon the first city. Here's the coffee shop. Here's the souvenir shop. Here's the royal bathroom. Like, all this stuff, and it's like I feel urgent. I don't have time for this.
Where's our sense of urgency?
Yeah, which does kind of come in after that first kind of opening. And you have to fight your way through the city, and you come around the one corner, and what's there but the same kettlebells, the Acme Stompers that was the first trial in
I didn't
Guild
even
Wars
remember
1.
them.
Yeah, they were there.
I remembered them, and I was like, they're going to be around here somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't go that far. And I took one step, and all of a sudden, boom.
Boom, it came down.
I think I blocked them out. I love how they have just, because they've been doing this for so many years, they've just destroyed the ground below them.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was nice. That was a nice throwback. But now, here is kind of this is where the story started losing me. And I'll say, to this point, I wasn't very surprised by, the lore. I wasn't very surprised by the Sun Spears being being active because I mean we were gonna have them help us with Amnun. I wasn't surprised with Kassia. I wasn't really surprised anywhere. I would have been surprised with Amala. I'll give you that. But this is where the story kind of went bad because it was like there was all this stuff going on. Like there was just awakened everywhere. You battled through these different things and you kind of find it. But then it came to a point where I didn't realize that the awakened were running down the hall and going out the portals into Central Tyria. And it took me a while to figure out, oh, I don't have to kill awakened. I have to close the portals and then kill the awakened. So I
didn't even kill the portals.
I literally was on that step for 45 minutes before I figured out I had to kill the portals. It was so bad. It was.
I didn't kill the portals at all.
Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't?
I didn't kill. I don't think I did that either.
I think I
I
went
don't
straight
know.
to
I was
Taken,
doing
what
it
did we do?
forever.
I think I went straight
Yeah.
for Timey and
Yeah.
screwed the portals.
You know, you kind of
have
you
to
had to
take
kill
the devices
yeah,
out. You have to take the devices out
to open.
to stop her
Yeah.
golem, which in turn destroyed the portals.
Yeah.
Right, that's
so
what
you
I did.
pull.
All right, maybe I'm
pull that out.
embellishing Tenkin with 45 minutes. It seemed like forever that I was there bashing.
Right? I was like, Taken, we were not in there for
I was there for
45
a
minutes
while.
whacking at things.
I was there for
No,
a
you
while.
have to grab the portals have a
Static
an
conductor
energy
thing.
device that you have
Yeah.
to go get.
Yeah.
So when you pull the energy device, the portal closes. So you pull the
Yeah.
battery out of the energy device so that you can go and stop the, like, I don't know, it's draining the power from the golem or whatever.
I killed all the awakened. You're a little bit further, I think.
You're
You're a little
no,
bit further along.
No, he's not.
No,
There's
he is.
There's
He's
a
talking
portal.
about the fight
No,
with
The
Timey.
fight
He's
for
talking
Timey.
about no. There's a portal, and then there's a device next to it, and you just whack the portal, and the portal closes.
Yeah, but that is in the first part that I'm talking
Oh, I
about.
see what you
We're
mean.
still
Oh, that
outside.
part, yeah.
But that's how I knew how to do the
Inquest
Timey fight.
Exactly.
Was because of that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, where the awakened.
Well, that's what they-
killed.
They
the
were just
portal.
flooding through, and I was there smacking them
Yeah.
around. So I actually had to kill all the awakened before I could move on. But before that, of course, is the next bit of angst in the story for me. Anyway, you're in a pickle, and there's all these. You're finding all these inquests there, which at first I don't know if it makes sense to me or not that the inquests are there. I don't, and I'm gonna reserve judgment until we see the next step of the story. But it doesn't quite make sense to me that the inquests are there right now.
Mhm.
Than anything else. But at any rate, you get overwhelmed by these inquests, and you're in trouble. And all of a sudden, the ceiling falls. But before all the rocks hit you, big burly Bram comes out of nowhere, emo special, and saves you.
It was beautiful. What are you
It
talking
was-
about?
Wasn't.
Okay, so and I have a feeling I know what Gord's gonna say
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we all know what Gord's
But-
gonna say here.
Like I was when he came in, I was like, oh crap, we're gonna die again. And then he came in. I was like, yes, he's back. He's Bram is back. And I thought it was because he had had a change of heart. And then he opened his mouth.
I know.
And I was like, can I deck him? Where's that plank of wood that I can just go and
Here's
smack up with 2x4?
here's where I feel like I am being strapped down and dragged through the story at this point. My character is a Norn. My character is not just a Norn. My character is an above average, if not legendary Norn when it comes to Holbrack. And to have this little punk come in and mouth off to me.
yeah, the mouthing off is what got me.
Mouthing off. See,
Yeah.
if they could write in something that the Norn characters, the Norn PC could come in and school him.
Exactly. And it's
I
not
would-
even at
yeah.
this point yet.
Like, I will
This is
bust
the-
you in the ass,
Yeah.
boy.
It wasn't
Yeah.
quite that bad for me yet. It was like, okay, he came in, he saved the day, he's here. I'm glad he's here, but I'm not going to take your shit, son.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, you kind of are.
No, well, and that's anyway. We'll get to that. So, Bram comes in. We find out that these portals, these Asura gates, are opening all over Corteria, and all the Awakened are pouring out, and we have to shut them down. And basically, Joko started a war, And still at this point, it's not quite clear if Joko is back or not.
If it's if it's an imposter or
we don't know what's
going on.
Advancing into the city, we start finding these security panels, and we're finding recordings of Timey and what appears to be Joko. You know, so it seems like Joko's there. Joko's using Timey to open all these doors so that he can get to the central chamber, which has, I would say, maybe 12 surrogates. And we find out from Bram that these surrogates are unique because they don't have a receiving station. So right now, the way the surrogates work is you have a surrogate in Lion's Arch. It has a sister surrogate that's in Divinity's Reach. So when you go through, that's it.
Yeah,
they're tuned,
linked.
they're paired, and that's that. Did you want to say something, Kora?
No, I was just thinking they're like black holes, like
exactly
wormholes.
So there's an entrance and an exit. These can appear anywhere. They don't need to have the exit point set up, which is unique with a surrogate. So we find this out from Bram. The urgency is getting even real. We have to use Bram and Rox and everybody to finish the second trial.
Bram is very unhappy with us for letting Timey get taken.
Yeah, because we put Jormag
letting
to
Timey
sleep.
get taken and also putting Jormag to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like,
so and again, in my headcanon, I'll take this from you right now, but you and I are gonna have a talk after this, and you're not gonna be talking like that much longer. Anyway, we use them. We get through the last two of the whatchamacallit, the trials of the first city, and we come to the platform, and we come into the room, and there's Timey on this platform surrounded by Awakened. So Ritlock and Canuck stay back to keep the Awakened off our back. We go forward to get to Timey.
Bram comes with us.
Bram comes with us, which again, at this point, I'm fine with. I'm thinking, okay, you know, he's getting over it. He's hanging out with us.
Yeah,
he's doing the thing with us. And, you know, we end up coming across, which is, you know, starting probably the most emotionally draining encounter.
Yeah.
So we clear everything off, and just to find out that Timey has been trapped inside her golem. She has no control over the golem. I don't know how they did this. I'm assuming through the Awakened Inquest did this. She cannot control her golem, and the golem is no longer supplying her with oxygen. So now we have a very perilous situation where we could lose Timey. And at this point, I thought Timey was going to die.
Yeah.
The countdown was excruciating.
It was.
I mean, it was bad, but like, as Tankin pointed out when we were playing, it was like, thank God it's actually not on the timer, because she would have been so dead.
Oh, so dead.
For me, because I kept falling off the platform and like dying, and then Tankin had to come down and rest me.
Yeah.
Like, not even like once or twice. Like, it was ridiculous.
The boss was ridiculous.
Bad.
I mean, I was set in
Scruffy.
full berserker, and I actually switched to my Connie berserker, and I was barely doing any damage to him, to Scruffy, and it's like that fight there got a little drawn out. Eventually, this was the only thing I didn't guess. I really thought that they were going to kill off Timey. They didn't, which was good. We got her out in the nick of time. But what we find out in this instance is that Joko is using basically killed an inquest infestation that was in the first city. And this kind of goes back to and this was what I was touching on. I think it was that shaman pointed out, or somebody pointed out on Reddit, that for the longest time now, they're down off of the coast of Istan is an Asura city, or what appears to be an Asura city, buried under the map texture. So when you look at the map in that area, you'll see a square that resembles an Asura city.
Rada.
And that's what I was saying. I was thinking that this could tie into the uncategorized fractal.
Oh.
So what it's what appears to be another one of Zin's labs or an Inquest city. So it's there now. You can go look at it. It's not quite clear, but like I said, it's a cube shape. Somebody pointed it out on Reddit a couple weeks ago.
So he's got it on the historical map.
In the in-game map. It should be
Oh, the
there
in-game
on the historical map, but I'm talking about the in-game map.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was pointed out on I don't remember who pointed it out on Twitter, but it was, or not Twitter, on Reddit. But it was pointed out there. So now here is where I really felt like I was strapped down and dragged through the story. Bram verbally assaults us through this whole thing. And just because he put a bubble over my head and stopped the rocks from falling on me, which, mind you, is exactly what the Shining Blade did when I got initiated, so I would have lived through it. He mouths off to me, and it comes out, and he's just like my Norn, who, in my headcanon, won't take any more lip from this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, Bram's like, oh, well, you did this, and you almost got her killed. You're so stupid. You suck. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, oh, well, and Bram saved us. And the commander's like, yeah, Bram saved us. And I'm like,
What?
bitch, please. I'm like, I just want to
I wish
smack
there was a
a Norn
Get
up
that
in here.
dialogue. What
I
the
wish there
heck?
was a choice. Say yes or bitch slap that little emo bitch.
No, what it should have been, what happened in my headcanon with my Norn is I would have grabbed that little, fucker by the throat and
You're getting a
explained to
little
him
upset.
exactly how it works from here on out, because this is how it's going to work. This is how you're going to talk to me. This is what you're going to do. This is where you're going to be. And you're going to have my coffee ready for me at the right temperature before I smack the snot out of you. I'll smack
feel
you
like
so
you're
hard,
a
Bram,
little
that air is going
passionate.
to wake up. Period. That's how I feel right now about Bram.
I agree with Tinkin that it is his fault for not being here to protect Jaime in the first place.
In the first
Exactly.
place, yeah.
Well,
You were
that's
so
that.
concerned, then your
So,
ass should have been
such a
with
good
us.
story. I enjoyed that.
But you know what? And somebody pointed this out. I think it was on Reddit. That emo Bram. It's a testament to the writing that we hate him so much, and so many people are pissed off at him because he's not just like. He is kind of like falling into the whole stereotypical, teenager that you just kind of
Shake.
sock. Yeah.
Yeah, good writing should
But-
evoke an emotion.
Exactly. And
it
that is
does
true.
it definitely does it for me. Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
what sacrifice? Because what's going to happen is what's going on in my
I can't take it for
headcanon.
very much long. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
no,
not even
you
about
gotta-
the
you gotta-
disrespect. It's about, in my headcanon, my Norn sees Bram making the same mistakes that my Norn made when he was coming up, through the
Yeah,
ranks. In my
you and I need to
headcanon,
talk. Yeah.
my Norn feels, and this is my headcanon, my internal RP for my character, my player character carries a lot of guilt because he wasn't strong enough to save Tybalt and
Mm.
learned
Yeah.
how to be a leader from Tybalt, and is going to see that Bram's recklessness is going to get somebody killed. And in my headcanon, I want to smack the snot out of this kid to get him back on the right path. And that's what it comes down to. Not just the disrespect or the emo or you suck and I blame you for everything, but just because of that. And that's where I am strapped down and dragged through the story. And I don't like that.
It's interesting because they did sort of give us that moment with Kaith at the beginning of season 3. So it's kind of like, well, are we going to have our moment with this dude?
It may come.
Yeah.
I see it
I hope
coming
it
because
does,
if you
I
go
hope it's
back,
coming.
if you go back to Living Story season 3, episode 6, where just out of the random nowhere, my player character was like, I don't have time to deal with Bram's whining. But then he gets face to face. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, Bram, you saved me with your bubble. And it's like, no, you need to be smacked right now. You need to just fall in line and stop your shit.
Yes. Thank you, Tinkin. Speaking of,
You don't
where's
see it that way,
Kaith?
Gallios?
Yeah. Where the hell is Kaith?
No,
yeah.
I just may not
Yeah.
ever get that the impression of you go, oh yes, I love you so much.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'll ever get that out of my head now.
I'm really glad that I was looking down at my little Cthulhu and not up at that, because that is not an image I need in my head before I go to sleep tonight.
All right. So anyway, overall story, Miko, what do you rate the story? At a scale 1 to 10.
I would say about an 8 or 9. You know, it's good. It was a good story. There were bits and pieces that I think could have been a bit better.
Yeah.
But it's a good start to the season.
Mm-hmm. Gallios.
Yeah, exact same. I would give it an 8. I was gonna say 8 before she said anything, so yeah, it's pretty cool. She said 8, so I don't feel so stupid. I thought it was pretty good.
And Kora?
Above average.
8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
So Gord, you're gonna do something
You're an
different.
outlier.
Let's see.
What are you
You
gonna
are
do?
a 5.
No.
Middle of the road.
I was originally gonna be middle of the road, but I seriously, before I asked anybody, I'm gonna give it an 8 because the story was good, and I have to say I think that I'm trying to say this in a way that's not offensive because I'm not trying to say that the writers didn't do a good job, because they did. There was a lot more attention to detail in this first chapter than there was in the whole Last Living Story season. The thing of it is, and I believe it may be a resource problem that we've talked about before, but I feel like the amount of attention to detail put into the lore of the map outshined the amount of attention to detail that went into the story.
And that's been a criticism
Yeah.
for a while now.
And it's not
the
that they're not
story.
doing a good job.
Yeah.
The story is getting progressively better and better and better.
Absolutely.
It's tough. It's also for me, it's Guild Wars 2 is supposed to be an MMORPG, I would say. Would everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
It's lost its RPG element by taking the stance that, oh gee, it's just too hard. It's just too hard to write these things. Where we could see them put these little twists into the story, where Gallios picked Sunspears and I picked Neutral, and Kora picked Joko.
Shut your
Anyway,
Hypothetically speaking.
But those little twists and turns that end up in the story, I wish they would just take a second, because every one of my personal story steps, and I know it's not a part of the game anymore, my Norn took the fierce response, not the, oh, Bram, save me with your bubble. Put your sweet bubble juice all over my face. Get the hell out of here. It just made me angry. It does. And that's what it's supposed to do.
Go there.
He did.
And that's what it's supposed to do. And it's good writing because it evokes this emotion. But when it breaks my headcanon for my character, that's where it starts feeling like I'm being dragged through the story. And that's my only criticism for this. I think this release was great overall.
I'm hoping, like we said before, that they will give us that satisfaction, kind of that nice little closure or something.
I want to fight with Bram. I want to plant my juggernaut right between his eyes. I want to stomp him.
Smart.
Yeah.
If they're smart, there's going to be something. Either we're going to have a physical fight with him, and we'll come out on top. Not fight. Or
they're both
or just a drag out yelling fight.
Yeah, she's right, because they're both Norn Gallios.
I just want to see him. I just want to slap him. Just slap.
Something's going to happen. It is going to be that confrontation.
Yeah.
And if they're smart, and I feel like they are, I don't see how they would get past it with us just going like, well, whatever, we're just going to, work together. Like, no, eventually it's going to come to a point where he's going to say something. And yeah, I actually have said that before, that something's going to happen and Taimi's going to have to put him in his place. I thought it was going to be Taimi was going to get hurt and Bram was going to
after all this, if Taimi's the one that sets Bram straight, I am uninstalling. Period.
No, I think it's got to be the commander at this point, because all of his rage has been directed at the commander.
And it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a fight for Norn, and this is where it gets convoluted, because for two Norn, you're gonna beat the snot out of each other until one person's standing. That's how it goes. But it doesn't even have to be that. I can understand, okay, you don't want it to be a violent thing. Make some kind of learning experience,
Well, I wasn't trying to say like I thought Taimi was gonna be the one to like punch him and put him back in his place. I thought it was going to be Taimi was going to get hurt and Bram like this is like his little sister. He's gonna come back and feel bad about it,
But he
and
doesn't
try
care.
to apologize
is-
to her, and she'd like be like, "No, I need time. I need
Mm.
space."
Mhm.
No, I agree with that, and that would be good, but that still wouldn't be satisfying.
At this
the
point,
player
yeah,
character,
I
I
do
think.
feel like it needs to be the commander, like coming in like mom and dad and being like, "Look, sit your butt down."
Two things. If you compare this encounter with when she got taken by the Inquest or chased by the Inquest in season 2,
Yeah.
right? Bram was super concerned, like we got to go get her now in the season 2 one. And here, it was a bit understated, I think, for me personally. I think Bram's reaction was a bit understated. And then, Gallios, what are you doing? But the Timey's reaction after she was chased by the Inquest in season 2, like she came out of it and she was like, "Oh, I was so scared. I'm good. I'm fine." And it was like an instantaneous, like, "I'm back. I'm cool. Everything's fine now." Her reaction here was a lot better. She was she felt
traumatized.
She's totally traumatized with this encounter. Whereas I think she should have been also traumatized with the first encounter, and it was too, like, she got over it too fast. That was always my thing with that one. And here I like the way that they played her her response.
Well, I mean, Bram's not even really technically part of Dragon's Watch. Bram is still Destiny's Edge. So, I mean, it's just something that I hope gets solved soon, and it would be very dissatisfying if. And you know, I'm only going with the aggressive smack the snot out of him because I mean a Norn, and that's what Norn do. You know, so I mean that's not going to be the same for everyone. So hopefully it comes because it's just so grating. We got the point. He's mad and he's falling off the path and we have to bring him back. So
I hope that they resolve it soon rather than drag it out throughout the season because it'll be too much.
It's too much.
All right. Well, right there is a good spot to end it. We're going to I mean, I really expected you guys to give it more, but I mean, we all settled on an 8. That's good. So overall, it's a good start. We'll see what comes in. Should be. I think we should realistically expect something. The next chapter probably in late February, early March with the break. So. Can't wait. So
Yep.
Oh, I screwed it up.
Didn't you do this last week?
Yeah, this is usually the part where he messes up the music.
I know.
He's always like, "I'm gonna have it ready. It's gonna be fixed."
It is fixed. I just fixed it.
Tenkin asks, "What do we think is going to happen with the 2 guilds?" Dragon's Watch and Destiny's Edge.
Destiny's Edge it was just a thing. It's going to.
I think it's
somewhere along the end they're going to galvanize and finally become Dragon's Watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Destiny's Edge is really just Bram and Rox, and Rox is not even like, she's just like, well, I gotta go with him because otherwise he's gonna just kill him. It's like when you have friends in elementary school and like one friend is fighting with the other, and then there's the friend in the middle that's gotta like pick who to go with. Like in Rox, and we as the commander, we were like, just go with him, keep him alive.
Oh, so, although I will say that Rox's character needs some development.
A lot.
She can't just continue being Bram's babysitter.
Exactly.
You know what she is? If she wasn't a Char, if she was a female human, she would just be that token female character that like she doesn't have her own motivation or plot or anything. She's just there to help.
She brought in her new outfit. Yeah, she brought in her new outfit.
I mean, she had this great backstory. She was trying to get into Ritlock's.
I have a feeling that
but
Rox
now she's become
the
girlfriend character, and now she doesn't have a point.
No, she's gonna die. Yeah, I think you're right. I think she's gonna fall into that trope, and she's gonna be the next victim. So, all right, let's take a break before we go on for another 3 hours. So, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Yay!
I love that Char music.
That's like my favorite freaking.
Yeah.
I love Jeremy Soul's music. I really do.
Oh yeah, Jeremy
Really
Soul
good.
was the bomb.
Yeah, he's not a popular guy nowadays with his Kickstarter. I mean, whatever. He's freaking awesome. All right, so another great show. Like I said, this is going to be the last show of 2017. We're going to take a 3-week break. We'll be back on January 5th with our next recording and our feelings of Winter's Day. So thank you everyone for coming out and chilling with us, and I hope everybody has a great holiday. And
Happy Winter's Day.
Happy New Year,
Day.
and I hope everybody gets what they want for Winter's Day. All right, so Gallios, do you have any shout outs?
I do. I want to give a shout out to my good friend Xandros. Recently, he lost his wife. I hate to bring this sad note to the show, but I wanted to shout out to him and tell him that your Mog Nation family grieved along with you, and I made sure I got her name and everything, and we're remembering her with you, buddy. So anyway, shout out to Xandros. Stay strong, my friend. If you need anything, you know where you can hit me up. And secondly, I'd like to throw a shout out to my buddy Gord. Him and his wife sent me a Christmas card, so I really appreciated that. And I am horrible because I don't do Christmas cards.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
But I specifically said, tell Lydia thank you, because I'm sure this was Lydia's doing, correct?
It was all of it.
So anyway, but yeah, that's my 2 shout outs. I would do the iTunes shout out, but I didn't download it yet, so
Come on.
I checked and there weren't any new reviews that I saw on iTunes.
Okay then, so I'm done.
All right, Miko, shout outs.
Give a shout out to Kate, one of my guildies, one of my raiders. She's been doing a lot of getting research gathering while I'm sleeping, because she's in EU and I'm over here in NA. So she's been awesome. So thank you very much, Kate. And a shout out to my raiders out there who are looking. This is my plug time. Any raiders who are out there, or anyone who's thinking about getting into raiding, if you're on NA, I am on EU as well now, but I gotta do the whole 0 to hero thing still. You can contact me. Let me know. We've got a guild, slow progression learning group, and we've got another one with Mog as well, Mog Nation as well, on Saturday nights. So hit us up. We like to raid, and we take it chill and easy, and we have fun.
Nice. All right, Kora.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Mel Zorav. On Twitter, she's at Zorav Pow, and Valiant, who are spearheading the Chimes Winter Day zine and the Guild Mag annual independently, or not. Yeah, they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make these mags happen. So big shout outs to the 2 of them. So thank you. That's it.
Gord, who you got a shout out for, buddy?
Cool. I got a shout out to my boy Garaz.
G-Roz!
Or G-Roz. My WoW buddy. No, not just that. Garaz has also been bouncing around with Talking Script too, and hosting those guys too, which I love. I love when we all the different podcasts kind of get together, and I haven't had a chance to reach out to Deo and Mouth Annis and everybody at Talking Script, but Garaz kind of pushed us together, and hopefully we're gonna do some kind of year-end review or something with those guys. I haven't reached out to them yet. I'm still planning to. Deo and Mouth Annis, all you guys over there, and hopefully we can put something together. It's just I don't have the time right now to plan out the logistics. So definitely, with a couple weeks off, I'm gonna reach out to those guys and try and put something together. So stay tuned. And that's it. And also everybody in the community. It's been kind of polarized, and I know I fall into that. I have fought myself very hard. I'm the type of person where if I see something that I feel is wrong, I will put a lot of energy into making sure that I call the person out who's doing the wrong and that's kind of gotten in the way of a few things, and I feel a lot lighter lately, not worrying about that stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, getting back into
Yeah.
the game as I wish and just having fun. It's been nice. So that's it. Those are my shout outs.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, so Kora, if the good people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
You can find me on Twitter at Guild Lores. I'm also on Instagram and Tumblr at Guild Lores. On Discord, I am Kora #2568, and in game I am south of Neptune.6254. And I'm gonna run because there is food. Look at this.
Ooh, yummy.
I already
I
ate
want
the bacon.
Put it
No.
put it in the camera. We want some too.
I'm
Very
so
nice.
hungry right now. I'm so
So
hungry.
I love you all. Happy Winter's Day, and I will see you in January.
All
See you
right.
then.
Later. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
So Gallios. I'm just gonna take that overlay off because you look silly now.
You
There we
can
go.
reach me. You can reach me at Gallios._GW2 on my Twitter account. You can also reach me in game at Gallios.8142. And you can reach me in our Discord at Gallios #3334.
All right, and Miko, you're in the spotlight now.
Yeah, you can reach me here on Twitch and on Twitter at InkySticks. You can reach me in game on sanspen.6093 and Discord Miko #3586.
Very good. All right, if you want to get in touch with the show, you can reach us at sotdpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SOTD_podcast, and you can find everything else you need to know about the podcast at SOTDpodcast.com. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at JustGord1 on Twitter. You can get me on our Discord at Gord #4133. And you can always find me in game at Gord.8654. I almost screwed that up. And no, Garros, I don't have my battle tag. I haven't looked at it yet. All right, so that's gonna do it.
All
Another
right,
great
good
show.
show. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great holiday season. Happy New Year. Be safe, and we'll see you guys in January.
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful holiday.
Bye, everyone.